Buongiorno, buonasera, benvenuti amici. Welcome, my friends. My name is Vincenzo and welcome to my channel. And the channel is Fountain Pen Therapy. Yes, the weekly recap is back. December 9th, 2024. I apologize, it's been away for some time and a lot of you have written to me and said, hey, Vincent, what's happened with the recap? We miss it. So you know what? Let me explain to you why, first of all, and I apologize for not being able to keep up with that, is that as you will see in a few minutes, I've had so many pens. I went on a pen purchase rampage, and I had so many pens to review, and that combined with my fountain pen NIBS series, my 4-part series, I had no choice but to kind of put the recap on the side burner to get everything done. So I apologize, but I enjoy doing this, so I'm glad that you guys pushed me to get it back on the road, and there we are. Speaking of the fountain pen NIBS series, where are we? Well, we've published part 1, part 2, part 3. Part 4 is coming up. In part 4, I will be reviewing the best, the best of my Chinese pen collection, Italian pen collection, the best of my Chinese pen collection, the best of my Indian pen collection. I've got front runners, and it's not pens, it's nibs. So it's Japanese nibs, Italian nibs, Indian nibs, and Chinese nibs, not the pens. Important distinction. We'll take a look at a bunch, and I have maybe my favorite, choose maybe 3 or 4 from the batch, and then give you writing samples of why those 3 or 4 are my best, and then maybe declare a winner at the end. Then I also looking at the wettest nibs that I have in my collection and the softest and ultra flex nibs that I have. Take a look at all of them and kind of show you my favorites and maybe even declare a winner there. So that's part 4. Then part 5, and Joshua Lax in Nibmeister, we've touched base and he's waiting for me. We're going to put him on, and you're going to get as a part 5, as an added bonus, I'm going to give you the kind of, what do Nibmeisters do for us? I've never had the opportunity of using the services of a Nibmeister, so I'm looking forward to that review or that part, because I will be learning on, as much as you will, what can these guys do for us? What do they recommend? And Joshua is going to, I've told him, you picked your topics, you let me know, and we'll put you on, and the rest is history. So there you have the NIB series. And of course, I've been on a buying rampage. As I mentioned, you'll see that in the last month, I've bought several Chinese pens. I've gotten pens from Vizier and Lotus that for review, and I've published some of those reviews. I've got a Magna Carta pen that I've added into my collection, and a Canwrite pen as well. We have my hunt for flex nibs continues, so I've bought a couple of pens there. Good Blue is added to my collection. We'll take a look at that in a few minutes. I've purchased my first Montegrappa pen. That will be up for review sometime soon. The Tarvisium. Really enjoyed that pen, and I've added some very important Japanese pens to my rampage. You've seen my Sailor King of Pen review. Finally, it's part of my collection. I have no regrets, and I had to go out and get my Pro Gear Sailor in order to be able to do a complete review of Japanese nibs for my part 4. So that's been added to my collection as well. So there you have it in terms of catching up. Why don't we look at some trends, in product trends, especially in pens. We'll be right back. Buongiorno, buonasera, benvenuti amici. Welcome, my friends. My name is Vincenzo, and welcome to my channel. The channel is Fountain Pen Therapy. Yes. So in terms of trends, one of the trends, let's take a look at the Chinese market. One of the trends that I've noticed is titanium nibs. It started perhaps with some Majon products, and certainly Asvine V200 took everyone by the storm. That is definitely going to be a contender for Chinese Pen of the Year. And it's out there right at the start, and I've noticed that everybody's doing titanium nibs these days. Let's take a look. First of all, we saw the titanium. This is the titanium. Hold on here. This is the TI, Majon TI 136. Okay. And it comes in that crushed barrel or hammered barrel. It comes in this brushed finish. Then there is a matte finish like this one. And now somebody's come up with this blue anodized, I guess. I don't know. You can get this effect done on titanium, where you can bring in some color, if you will. There you have it. That's a beautiful pen. It's expensive. Let me just see what it runs for. It's $177 with that color. So that's definitely a trend. Another titanium nib. Got this Jinhao. I believe it's a Jinhao, kind of a mini pen. You've got this new Junlai or Yunlai 900 King of Pen imitation, number 9 size nib, 18 karat gold, going for $800, $700, $900 depending on the seller. I'm really tempted, but it's a lot of money. Then you've got, of course, the Lemon M1S, which is a titanium alloy piston fountain pen with a choice of nibs. You've got the, this is brand new. I hadn't seen this before. It looks like a Safari imitation, but it's a titanium alloy multifunctional tactical pen. So that's something new that I may have to take a look at. We'll see whether or not I actually order it. Then you've got the Majon RS1 with a 14 karat gold nib at $190. I believe they must sell this at, in its regular version without that 14 karat nib. I'm not sure. I haven't seen it lately anyway. Then you've got the, as I mentioned, the Majon TI 136. And then you've got the Majon hooded nib one, the Majon TI 200. And I'm sure there is a ton more. I've seen a lot more titanium, for example, this offering, but it's a kind of a no-name. It's like a giant heavy pen with a number 8 Jinhao nib, going for like $354. So I did not take the dive, but you've got all kinds of other offerings of this type of pen, titanium pen, with companies that I've never heard of, frankly. So for me, I believe it's a definite trend. Another trend I wanted to mention is the fact that now Yowo nibs appear in the Chinese market picture. So not only do we have Bach and Schmidt, but Yowo has entered the fray, as they say. So stay tuned for that. The other thing that I wanted to mention is the reviewer Shanghai Knife Dude. He appears to be a very nice Chinese fellow. Puts on or lets us know when things are coming, sometimes before they actually get here in North America. And he mentioned in one of his comments to one of my reviews, I think it was for the Hongdian WA35, the aerospace themed pen, that stay tuned for Hongdian in 2025. It looks like they're going to be back, and they're going to be back like gangbusters. So let's hope his prediction is correct. Right? There you have it. Now, what else do we have to show you in terms of... yes. Okay, let me go back to my computer. Well, speaking of titanium nibs, Goldspot's got Navlor 365 anniversary in Plongeur titanium limited edition. So there you have it. If you're interested in, I did ask Goldspot to send me this pen for review, but they said it's limited edition. It's an expensive pen. We can't send it to you. Unfortunately, I can't take it out of the rotation, the sale rotation. I don't blame them for that, but at least I tried. The next pen that I wanted to mention to you, or next, is Kaweco. Is come out with a piston fill, but the regular pen, the classic sport. So this is not the aluminum version. And this is $108. So this one I might actually buy. I never bought the other one, which is $200 plus, because I just don't use these pens. But this one I might actually purchase. What else have we got for you that I wanted to mention? Oh, Giardino Italiano. It's got this special on nibs, Pelican nibs. They've got this M800 broad in white gold for 149 euros, which is roughly $149 US. They've got one in extra fine, a bicolored one for 260, and they've got some 400, M400 and M205 nibs as well. I've bought this $149 one, M800, that I'm going to swap on my Majon TI 36. This pen. And Shaq MD has got a video on that. He did the same thing. He may have another version of this TI 136. So stay tuned for that. I'll let you know how that works out. And I don't have an M800, so this is an opportunity to get the nib for $149, folks. It is a broad, so I suspect it's going to be big and juicy. I already have a broad on my M100, M1000. I would have preferred something like fine or medium, but stay tuned. But I thought I'd mention. That's, I think, a special that is worthwhile mentioning. What else have I got for you? Santini. Santini Italia makes beautiful pens. So they've got a Christmas special going on where you get 10% off on everything. But take a look at this. I mean, the pens are just absolutely gorgeous. Look at that. You've got all kinds of materials. You've got them from resin to Prussian resins. You've got them in ebonite. We've got faceted pens. I think I'm going to take the dive with this one here. Let me show you. This is $500, but you get an 18-karat in-house nib, flex nib if you want. And take a look at, I mean, this pen is just ebonite, really, really nice. Look at that, faceted. And this is a huge pen. You can also get faceted or straight-lined number 8 size nib pens. This Michelangelo Breeze is nice. It's a blue version. You've got the Giant. This one it is. This is a Giant Ambra with a number 8 size nib. Take a look at that nib. I mean, I really recommend Santini. If you're into gold nibs and you want, gold nib not at a ridiculous price, you can't go wrong with that. You really can't go wrong with that. I've got to tell you. So there you have it. I mean, just to maybe give you a glimpse, and we're going to take a look at this more closely in just a second, but let me just cut. This is a Santini that I just purchased recently, Libra model. This is huge. Okay, it's a piston filler, and it's got this super flexi. The review's going to go up soon. A super flexi fine nib in-house. This thing springs like you wouldn't believe. It's one of the softest nibs I have in my collection. Very, very, very nice pen. And I bought this, actually I bought this on Pure Pens site for, I think it was Pure Pens or Trufe, I forget which now, or even Zaffa Pens. But I bought this at $300. So you know what? It was worth every penny. Really enjoying this pen these days. So there you have that. Yeah, so that's in terms of what's in the news, in terms of what's, kind of trends we have. Now, let me just look at my notes here. Do I have anything in terms of paper or inks to suggest to you? Oh, yes. So first of all, okay. Here we go. Van Dieman's has got their annual collection, okay, the 2024. I've ordered this collection. It's a year-end collection, one for every month. You get 12 bottles, very nice inks. Take a look at this. I mean, these inks, one more beautiful than the other. And I love their site because you put your mouse on the selection and it shows you the swatch, which is wonderful. Very nice inks. I've ordered this, but in Canada, our post office is on strike, so it's probably stuck somewhere, and I'm not getting it in, unfortunately. I ordered it before they went on strike, and they went on strike when the package was about to be delivered. So that's the first thing I wanted to mention. The next is Dieman. You've got the Dieman calendar, and you've got calendar collection, so kind of 30 small bottled inks. You've got one for Colorverse as well, but good luck in finding it. I find that's the Colorverse one, the Color Vent they call it, and try finding it. I think this year this one is more popular, and it's kind of sold out almost anywhere, but if you do find it, good for you. And I've got a couple of new Hiroshiko NIBS, inks that I think I'm going to order. There's these 3 inks that are out now. What is it? The Rika, and I can't read it here, but for some reason I can't read it. The Sion Geo, and you got this orange one as well. These are the 3 new additions to the Hiroshiko set, so that I think I'm going to order as well. I think that's it for I've got nothing for you in terms of paper, but I got a bunch of paper products to present to you. Over the last month I've gathered quite a few, and stay tuned for that. You'll see that in this episode and in the next episode. So there you have it in terms of trends. So let's take a look at what's going on in my collection. Okay, we're back for the paper haul. Now, for the paper, I purchased a bunch of paper in the last month or so, or at least since the last recap. But one thing that I wanted to mention to you guys is that I've decided, and perhaps foolishly, but to buy as much as I can of Tomoe River original paper. So I've got 3 products that I'd like to show you, and I will put description in the description, the exact description of the products and where you can find them. First of all, I bought these notebooks, which are from Obonichi. They're still the original. I've got this one, which is in plain paper. Okay, so you can put in your guide sheets, be it, whatever, however you wish to write, whether it's lined graphs or dots. So that's the first one. Very nice. Okay, good size, not too thick, not too thin. I bought 3 of those. But this is the same thing, but except in the lined version. Now I'm a little disappointed because the lines are a little bit, I would say that they're not even 7 milliliters. They may be even millimeters, maybe even shorter. But nonetheless, we'll skip a line. This is nice too. Okay, so I bought 3 of those. And then this is a company by the name, and I always get them wrong. Do I have it here? Yeah, Wonderland 222. I bought 3 of these. Actually, I bought 2 smaller versions and one thicker version. Okay, forget the number of pages, but they will be marked down in the description. This one comes only in graph paper, this way, but it kind of I use this more for journaling and my for my to-do lists and that sort of thing. But I don't have to worry about dates like Obonichi has the date, so you're stuck with the date. You can add your date, and there is numbered pages, so that's a little bit. So I bought 3 of those. So those are the 3 notebooks, or 3 products that I purchased, and these are all original. That combined with the inventory I already have, I think will keep me going for quite a little bit. So there you have it. And that's one of the reasons why I did that, was because I did buy, just bear with me here, a particular product from I think it's Galen Leather. Yeah, Galen Leather. It's their notebook, their everyday notebook. I bought this, and I got a feeling this is Sanson. Again, I put it into this notebook, and I found right away that big difference. The paper is a little bit, it's got more tooth, and for some reason, I wasn't enjoying the writing experience. So that's one of the things that led me to, to say, you know what, now that they're still available, and to the extent that I find anything else, I think I'm going to just hoard the inventory, so I'll be okay for the rest of my my life, so to speak. So there you have it. Those are the paper hauls for this week, and I've got some other stuff for you, different types of paper, and we'll take a look at that next week. So there you have it. Okay, so we're back for the ink swatching. Now, if you guys have been following my channel, I think you've realized by now that these Hongdian inks are quickly becoming a favorite of mine. I find myself always inking or reaching out for these inks. I think they're just fabulous. There's first of all, they're non-carbon. They're 60 milliliters. It's got a nice bottle, a big opening, fairly deep. So that's okay, and they offer a variety of colors. You see here 8 of them. I'm going to be swatching 3 at a time, and I've got 4 or 5 more that have been ordered and that I'm waiting for delivery. So I will have the complete set when all is said and done. So what I propose to you is that today we will take a look at the blue shades. Well, there's a teal, there's a blue, and there's a peacock blue. We'll do those 3 today, show you the differences, and we will swatch it. What I wanted to do is we're going to swatch it on Tomoe River paper, the original, Tomoe River paper Sanson, and Rhodia. So those are the 3 that we'll have today. I'm going to set up my water and my swatching tools, and we'll be right back. Okay, so we're all set. Let's take a look at blue first. And here we go. This, by the way, is Tomoe River Sanson. Okay. So that's one. So this is Hongdian. Blue. Sanson. Okay. Quick references for me. That's the blue. Now we'll take a look at a teal. Actually, we should do the peacock blue right next to the royal blue. That way you could see the difference between the 2 blues. Okay, so that's peacock blue. We'll write that down. So that's Hongdian, peacock blue, Sanson. Very nice, I must say, especially that blue. And these days I'm on a trip for turquoise. That's another thing. You know, these are moods, right? So we go with the punches, as they say. Fountain pen therapy, whatever makes us happy. Okay, so that's the teal. So that's Hongdian, teal, Sanson. And these inks, of course, are not, there's not a great amount of sheen. There are more shaders than anything else. There's no, fussy shimmering material that you have to deal with. So if you want just a straight ink, well-behaved, well, you've got it. So next on this is the original Tomo River. I'm really curious. I want to see the difference. So we'll do Hongdian blue first. And fairly quick dryers, I would say to you. But so this is Hongdian. And this is Tomo River Paper Original. Next, Peacock Blue. Very interesting shading on that peacock blue, I got to tell you. And this teal looks more like a green to me, but we shall see how it dries. So this is Hongdian. Teal, Tomo River Paper Original. Here we go. So that's that. We'll set that aside. Let it dry, and then we'll take a look at the swatch once. And last but not least, this is dot grid rhodia paper. I'll start with the blue. That's that. Next, peacock blue. Can I tell you, these swatching tools are really good, eh? I recommend them. I don't like paintbrushes, and I don't like Q-tips, just because I find they don't quite emulate the, steel on paper, like a nib or metal on paper. And last but not least, the teal, which, again, to me, looks suspiciously like green, but I think when you look at the bottle and you look at just the liquid, it looks like teal, but when it comes down on paper, very different. So Andean, teal, rhodia. Okay, so that's the swatches. Thank you for bearing with me here. And you can fast forward, of course. We'll let them dry and we'll come back and we'll do a nice comparison. There you go. Now, here are the swatches dried, and let me tell you, I'm really surprised and maybe a little bit disappointed. Here I am telling you guys that we should hoard as much as possible the original paper. And when I compare the original paper to the Sanson, you can see that the Sanson gives you a lot more ink variation than the original. But the reason why I prefer the Tomoe River paper is because of the writing experience. So, yeah, and the Sanson is known to kind of mimic best Cosmo Airlight. So it's kind of an in-between between Cosmo Airlight and the original Tomoe River. And because I guess it has all that tooth, you could see that the sheening really comes out on the Sanson, whereas very little sheen comes out on the Tomoe River. You can see the shading, but not the sheen. So you could see the shadings of the inks where, of course, you don't get anything in rhodia. I mean, yeah, for me, rhodia is a fountain pen friendly paper, but it's kind of a boring paper. I don't use it. But I know a lot of you do, and I don't blame anybody. It's just, but you could see the inks just don't do anything on this paper at all. But surprisingly enough, Sanson. So if you're into getting your inks to express themselves as much as possible, then you should go with Sanson. You shouldn't be hoarding the original. Otherwise, an in-between kind of solution would be Tomoe River. I just find the Tomoe River paper, the writing experience is so much smoother than the Sanson. So there you have the swatches. That's that. We'll take a look at 3 more Andean inks next week. Okay, so what have I been buying in terms of pens for the last month or so since my last recap? Well, you know what? Quite a bit. This is basically my most important haul. I think I've got a couple of other pens that are not worthy of mention, but this is what I've purchased since the last. Now, this is the Hongdian A7 with the kind of stabilized wood. Folks, I'm not sure that I would recommend that you, and I think there's probably sold out anyway, which is, in my view, a good thing, because I don't like what I've experienced. Take a look at this. And I don't know if, look, the whole thing kind of just dislodged on me. In other words, the section that, well, I can't even get out the barrel, the whole section came out. See that? The section of the, so it, you know, and look at this. I mean, so I can't even unscrew it or unscrew it or screw it, because if I do, okay, here we go. Managed to do it. But you see, this thing turns. And there's no way, I think I have to, I don't know how to stop it. It just keeps turning on me. And if it does, of course, then I can't screw in the barrel, because at one point it'll just keep on turning. So you know what, folks? And this is the, from all these Chinese pens, they're all here, this is the only one that doesn't write. And I've done the review several weeks ago and thought that maybe, but it doesn't write. So it's too bad. It's got that nice Andean nib, but I don't know what's with Andean and wood, but they haven't been very lucky. The shape is nice, the look is nice, the finishing is nice, and maybe you would say maybe all I need is a little bit of glue, but I don't expect my pens to unglue. Okay, so I wouldn't want you to go through the same experience. Now, in terms of the rest, let me just get my notebook, because I got to show you how these pens that perform. I'm going to remove this for now. Those are my other pens. These are all my Chinese pens that I buy. What did I buy? Well, the most recent, of course, is this Andean WA35. And take a look at this, folks. Look at this. I mean, a week without use. And writes beautifully. The second one is this fake. This is a wing-sung fake of the Ferrari, of Mont Blanc Ferrari limited edition of some Enzo Ferrari or something. But I complemented the nib. So this is the fake Mont Blanc wing-sung. Look at this. Enzo Ferrari. Almost 2 weeks I haven't used this. Let me just, yeah, so you can appreciate this a little more. This is the Tramal T630, I think it is. Beautiful pen. I gotta tell you, well made, Bach nib. So that's the trend now. The Chinese are not only using Schmidt and Bach. I'm sorry, this is a Yowo nib. So not only Bach and Schmidt are in the picture, but Yowo's in the picture. So this is the Tramal. That's me. Tramal T630. And what I like about it is this Yowo. And this is a Yowo fine nib. Weeks without use. Pick it up, writes. This little gem of a pen is the Tramal imitation of the Pro Gear. And now I can actually compare it to the real thing. So there you have it. It's actually a little bit bigger than the Pro Gear. Just slightly. You can see that? Just slightly, okay? But, you know, basically the same shape. But the material of this resin, it really feels like precious resin. It's not cheap plastic. It may look like that, but it isn't. Now, the nib I put in this is so this is the Tramal Cream. I put in a Joya Yowo broad nib. Take a look at this. This, yeah, that's that Joya nib, really, really nice. But I think they come in different colors. I saw one of a pinkish shade. Saw one with lemon motif, kind of a yellow shade. I really recommend this little pen. It's a gem. If you like the Pro Gear, well, and it feels so substantive and so, I don't know how to describe it. It really feels like a Mont Blanc precious resin. That's the next one is this. Now some of you might say, look at that. It's the Lemon M6. But I mean, look at this nib. It's the Little Prince with a lemon nib. Weeks without use. Writes beautifully, just beautifully. So if you can tolerate the Masquerade, it's a nice little pen. Now, these two pens. Well, this is the Majon V60. And I got to tell you, they're raising some eyebrows. Yes, it is an imitation of the Omas 360. But, you know, Omas 360 has become one of my grail pen hunts. If I can find it at a reasonable price, I'm going to get it. Just because I had the opportunity of using these two pens. I really like the feel. I like that triangular grip. And if I can find the original, I'm going to jump on it to the extent that the price is reasonable. Now, some reviewers are going probably declare this pen as their worst pen of the year. I totally disagree. I mean, yes, you have to unfortunately struggle with getting that nib out, but if you're careful, it can be done. Okay? And I managed to do this, and I managed to put in this one here. So this is the Majon V60. It's got a Bexley and probably Bach broad nib. And what I did is, I don't know if you can see that, but what I did is I put the nib in. It's not perfectly aligned with the tip here in terms of being centered. I put it slightly oblique to one side because I noticed that in my grip, I have a tendency to turn my nib a little bit too much. So this manages to, I keep my grip straight, but the pen is much straighter, as you could see, as opposed to me writing this way. I'm obliged to write this way. I find it ingenious. And I didn't break anything. Yes, I did massacre the fins on these feeds, which are very, very thin, but Doodlebud shows you that with a little pocket knife, you can just straighten out the fins, and it's not a problem. And worst comes to worst, you know, you can always change them. But and I did the same thing with this one, but and as you could see, it's not perfectly aligned there. And this one is the Majon Moonman nib. So this is the Majon. But look at this with the Moonman fine nib. I mean, what more do you want, folks? I mean, I haven't used these pens in weeks, okay? So, no, this is going to be a contender for the pen of the year, Chinese pen of the year. Sorry for the ones who don't like it, but I love it. The next thing I bought is I actually went out and got this is the Asvine V200 that we've seen, but in this darkened or dark color, Darth Vader sort of look. Very, very nice. So, you know, black I'm going to put here. And this one comes with the Bach. What is it? Is it a fine? Looks maybe like a medium nib. And it's got the Bach setting so that if I want to throw in my Ultraflex fountain pen Revolution with the Bach nib unit, I can always do so. So that's part of my collection as well. And then I got these two gems. Now, As I mentioned, titanium seems to be a fad these days, and these pens are just gorgeous. First of all, this is the Asvine J16, and it comes with a Yowo broad nib. So for those of you who said, too bad these Chinese don't have, well, they went to get, don't have too much choice in terms of your nibs. Well, now they're going out and getting Schmidt, Bach, and Yowo. It's too bad. I would love to see an Asvine broad. I think they can do it. But so this is a gorgeous, gorgeous pen. And then this is the most recent edition in my collection. I know this pen probably came out before the Asvine, but I hadn't purchased it. And thank God I did. This is the Majon. I mean, take a look at that. And it's the TI 136. And it's got the lemon architect grind nib. And this pen has managed to resurrect my interest in architect nibs. In most of my reviews to date, you'll see that I hate architect because I can't write with them, but not with this one. Let me tell you, this lemon nib is just perfect. It's nice. It's got a dual tone, so very nice. So those are all the pens, all my Chinese pen that I've added to my collections in the last month, and happy with all of them. What else have I got? Now, the other stuff that I brought is, well, I bought some Indian pens, some Italian pens, so let's take a look at that. First of all, let me just put them all in order, and some Japanese pens as well. So, apologize, I should have done this before. Okay, what do we got here? Well, let's start with the Indian pens. This I've reviewed. This is a Lotus Ion. Very nice pocket pen made out of solid copper. Really, really nice. Take a look at my review about this pen. It is a little heavy, but, this thing, you want to take it up, you can beat it up all you want, and it'll survive, so to speak, or you can throw it at somebody and kill them. You got to be careful. So there you have it. That's the Ion. This is the Vizier Elf, another small little pocket pen with a Schmidt nib. Very nice. I've reviewed that as well. I'm sure you've seen that. The other Vizier is this checker with a nice checkered design, and it's got a branded Vizier with the black nib, and that's a Yowo nib. So very nice from Vizier. Very well priced. Then take a look at this, folks. This is the Mammoth, Canwright Mammoth number 9. And I just have to show you how this thing writes. 1 second. I mean, this is just a joy to write with, in my opinion. Let me just see. I don't know if it'll write because I haven't written with this in weeks. But this is the Canwright. Yeah, look how juicy this thing is. Mammoth. They call it the number 9. Now, this nib, I don't know what size that is, but it's bigger than a number 8 size. So, very nice. And I haven't seen a Canwright with this kind of quality in quite some time. Stay tuned for the review. It's done, and I'll publish it sometime soon. The next Indian pen is this Magna Carta. Oh, it dried up on me. Too bad. Well, it's going to come back. Okay, there you have it. This is the Magna Carta Urban. And it's with that Fude nib, but that can write, you can use this as a daily writer. Very, very nice. I got to tell you, very happy. So take a look how thick it can go, or how thin it can go, or in between. Very nice. I like this Magna Carta. Nice addition. Then I added some Japanese pens, of course. Got this from Apple Boom. They sent me a bunch of pens for review. This is kind of Fude nib, but it's a cheap one. Yeah, you see, it's even dried up. Oh, I never inked it. I just dipped it to test it. Yeah, if you're into drawing and that could come useful. And of course, you've got my Sailor King of Pens that I purchased. Review is up. Beautiful pen. Beautiful Grail pen. Smooth with that slight feedback that makes, Sailor special. So I got that one, and I finally got a Pro Gear. So this is the I gotta always post this one. It's just too small for me. This is the Sailor Pro Gear, and it's the regular size. And I got to tell you, you can definitely feel the difference between this nib and the nib on the King of Pen. Absolutely. But so now I've got the major stars from Sailor. Next. Well, I think I mentioned this one before. I did get this Omas Bologna. Just love this pen. This is again, months. Omas Bologna Calligrafia. So it's the calligraphy nib because it's got a regalia cross flex nib. As you can see, there it is. Nice, beautiful, soft or flex pen. Very juicy. That's to quench my thirst for flex pens these days. Beautiful pen. Beautiful pen. Very nice. Almost quality. The next one on my list was this. I bought another Santini in this beautiful blue resin. And this time it has a Superflex fine nib. Wow, folks. This is the Santini recommended. It's the Libra model. They were on sale at Pure Pens, not even on the Santini site. And this has an 18 karat Superflex fine nib. I got to tell you, folks, you've got to look into this. There were some specials now. There were for Black Friday, and I think they've got some specials going now. Santini does for Christmas. Really take a look at it. You can actually get, and this pen is huge for a number 6 size nib, but you can actually get faceted, different materials, different look, and even bigger pens with a number 8 18 karat gold nib at very reasonable prices. Well, you're talking $400, but for an 18 karat in-house nib with this kind of quality, worth every penny. Finally got my first Montegrappa. I'm going to put up the review. I have other Montegrappas that don't belong to me, but this is my first modern Montegrappa. I also have a couple of vintage old Montegrappas, but this is my first modern Montegrappa, and courtesy of Gold Spot. I wanted to review this pen, but Tom said this is a little too expensive for me to send to you for review purposes. But I'll give you a discount. He gave me a discount and I bought it. It's so this is the Montegrappa keep getting this. I think it's not F, Tarvisium. Paradise Falls, I think it is. Beautifully tuned. I think these are Yowo nibs, branded Montegrappa, but they are finely tuned, so it writes really nicely. Beautiful pen. Stay tuned for my review. The review is ready. I should be putting this up sometime soon. So those were my acquisitions, folks, for those were my pen acquisitions in the last month. Isn't that incredible? That's why I was talking about a pen buying rampage. It was. Some of it was purchased because I wanted to for my own fountain pen therapy. The Chinese pens were purchased in part because I wanted to share that with you and as part of this channel. And the Indian pens, or at least several of them, if not all of them, except the Canwright, were all sent to me for review purposes. The Urban was sent to me by Applebaum, but I ended up purchasing it at the end of the day. So I've added, a Grail pen. Some would say these two pens, the Santini and the Omas, can be considered Grail as well. But certainly my KOP, my King of Pen, is. So lots of fountain pen therapy in the last month and a half. And that's one of the reasons why, of course, repeating myself, one of the reasons why I couldn't get the recap going every week. I just had too many pens that I purchased. And this doesn't take into account that I've got 5 or 6 pens that I purchased in Italy that I've yet to review. So there you have it. Okay? We'll go to the next part of this recap. Just give me a chance. We'll clean it all up and stay tuned. Okay, so YouTube reviews. What is it that I recommend? In the last month there's been several, but I think I'm going to stick to some of the more recent ones that I can recall. First of all, I wanted to mention to you that Alexandra Richardson, who does this 20 questions reviews of different people, did interview me last week. And I think my interview will probably be aired sometime in the new year. Well, she's going to advise me when she lets me know. I will let you know. So I go through the 20 questions with her as best as we could. It was enjoyable, and I thank Alexandra for that. The next YouTube review that I want to mention to you is that the wet pen, my friend Matthew, who I think does an absolutely fabulous professional job with his all of his videos, and he's a real keen on testing inks. And he this year he's taking a look at the that calendar collection for Colorverse, not the Dieman one, and he does one per day, I believe, and he's going to do 30 until Christmas or something like that. And he swatches on different papers, gives you his comments. Very well done. I recommend it. So that's the wet pen for the Colorverse calendar collection. The next one is my friend Shaq MD. He's got this great video where, as I mentioned, he does that nib swap where he puts a pelican on. I believe it's the Majon, if I'm not mistaken, on this pen. But he's got the hammered version. Yeah, so as I mentioned, what I did is I went out and bought myself a Pelican M800 nib from Giardino Italiano. It's on special, as I mentioned, and we're going to do the same thing. So take a look at that. If you're interested, that could be something for you to view. The next one is the Samuel Naldi ebook. I want to give it some special consideration, so just give me a second. We're going to go get it on the internet. I bought one. Samuel Naldi. Give me a second. We're going to show it on screen. This is worthwhile. Okay, here it is. Now, Samuel Naldi has a YouTube channel where he I mean, he owns a store or runs a store in Switzerland. And yes, Samuel NALDI'S got all the expensive pens. So he's not selling Chinese pens, I can tell you. But having said that, he's a real character. He's got some excellent videos out, and he decided to put together an ebook, a guide to fountain pen nibs. And I wish I had this before I did my nib reviews, and maybe I will do the same one day, is publish an ebook myself. And there it is, and I bought it. I think it cost you about $30 or something. Really, really, really nice. He's got here's the introduction, table of contents. What is a nib? Linguistic origin of the word nib. He goes into all the historical underpinnings of nibs. He looks at the anatomy of a nib. He then looks at materials used in fountain pen nibs, the nib materials, the tipping material, the feed, the crafting process of gold nibs, how gold nibs are made, introduction to leading manufacturers and their processes, the art of nib decoration, comparing nibs across brands, selecting the right nib size. I really recommend this book. He looks at nib troubleshooting, custom grinding, portrait of nibs, and he's got an epilogue. He's got some beautiful pictures of some very good looking pens, I gotta tell you. Very, very nice. He looks at the history of the pen. He's got some drawings, and he's got his own drawings in there, and I think he does even some swatching. I've not had a chance to completely, look at this. He's got some writing tests as well for some of the major pens. Very nice. I strongly, strongly recommend that you consider taking a look at this. And you know what? It's something I should have done, or I should have read even before I put out my nib series. But this is just, I think it's a good resource. And congratulations, Mr. NALDI. I wrote to you to tell you I was very, very pleased with what you've put together here. I'm sure there's a lot of work here. And you know what? Why not? He's got some beautiful pens, some beautiful illustrations. So there you have it. I thought I mentioned Samuel NALDI, Guide to Fountain Pen Nibs. Take a look at that for $30. I think it's worth the purchase. I think if you buy it, I'm not sure the discount is still there, but if you subscribe to the channel, or I forget what it is, there you may even get a 10% discount. So you know what, Samuel NALDI, thank you very much. Well appreciated. And I'm looking forward to reading that book. Maybe during the holidays with a nice cappuccino, I'll sit down, read the book, and maybe we'll come and revisit it, and I'll give you my thoughts. Maybe I will do a review of the Samuel NALDI book. Why don't we do it that way, eh? And I'll give it my own twist. So there you have it. So that completes the YouTube review. Now, next section is, of course, what's coming soon on my channel. So let me just... Okay, so on my channel, I've reviewed several pens, and we'll be posting the reviews sometime soon. I talked to you about my part 4 of my nib series. Stay tuned for that. It's going to be a fun one. So that's part 4 is going to have to be published sometime soon. I've completed it, and it's going to be published. The next thing is that I've got my Majon T Titanium 136 review. That's coming soon. Of course, my first Montegrappa review of the Tarvisium Paradise Falls is also in the spin, so to speak. I have to kind of find the right place for it. I've got a review of my Canwright Mammoth number 9, which has also been completed, which I will spot in at the right time. My Almost Bologna, I got to get that done. It's been done for months now. I just never found the opportunity to put it up. And of course, my Mayora Ogaiva Titanium TI-22 review is also ready and will be put up sometime soon as part of, at least one Italian pen per month promise that I've made several months ago. So there you have my upcoming YouTube reviews, and it's the year end. I'm going to take a holiday pretty soon. I'm going to go to Florida and play some golf in early January, but in late December, I'm going to take a couple of weeks, and during those weeks, I'm going to be posting the Fountain Pen Therapy annual awards. It's a little bit like the Academy Awards, okay, where I'm going to choose some categories and declare some front runners, and then maybe declare a winner. There you have it. I might even wear my tuxedo again like I did the first year. We'll see if that tuxedo still fits. So there you have it, folks. That's my recap for this week. Yes, we're back. I'm going to try to do it every week. I know a lot of you wrote to me wondering what had happened. I explained to you why it had been put aside for a little while. I might have to put it aside for a little while as well, and maybe not do it every week, but maybe it'll become the monthly recap. We shall see. But you know what? It's fountain pen therapy. I love and I enjoy doing this. So if anybody says to me, what happened? Get it done. You know what? It just gives me even more joy to do it. So thank you. Please subscribe. I need some subscribers between now and the year end. If you're taking a look at this video, just click on that subscribe button. I'd appreciate it. Also, if you like the video, thumbs up. If you don't like it, that's fine. Just let me know why. And folks, enjoy your pens. Grazie. Arrivederci.